Alright, so I'm Mason Payan, and here's my video. So, for the controversial issue debate, I'm focusing on race and sports, and more importantly, the social justice issue aspect on African Americans. So, sports are by far the most popular form of entertainment, and with this being so, there's many athletes that take their stand on this platform for the reasons of publicity. So before I start, I want to give the definition of minority from which the book states, and it is stating such as socially identified population that suffers disadvantages due to systematic discrimination and has a strong sense of social togetherness based on shared experiences of past and current discrimination. So the minority, in this case in America, is considered African Americans, is the example I'm going to focus on. And one of the first that made this movement was Bill Russell. He was the one that wanted to take a stand on this platform for sports. And in this movement, he called out the NBA commissioner. And because in the NBA commissioner back then, it showed you could only have 3 African Americans on a sports team. And he showed that as a racial issue in America and needed to be identified. And he obviously won and took charge, and he went on to win 11 NBA championships, 3 as a coach. Great player. And some of the other ones, for example, Muhammad Ali, when he refused to submit to the draft for the Vietnam War. This was a very big issue back then because he was standing up for the minority, but he was also didn't want to fight other people that weren't his problem, and he stated his problem right now is the people of America. He obviously was facing up to 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. Later it was overturned in the Supreme Court with a vote of 8-0. And then also another big one was the 1968 Olympics, where it was in Mexico, and Tommy Smith and John Carlos raised their fist, where they had black gloves on, and raised their fist, and during the national anthem to show that they were standing up for a racial controversy that was happening with Muhammad Ali, of course, of that time. And during this, they were kicked off and sent back to U.S. and got stripped of their medals. They won gold and bronze. And another this is what I'm going to primarily focus on, was the Cleveland Summit. So the Cleveland Summit was a group of people. They had Bill Russell, Lew Alcindor, which is also known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and then Muhammad Ali. They all got together as one and to stand up against racial inequality, specifically in America. And I will post a picture, my visual, I will post it where my APA references will be, and it's a very famous picture known throughout, as they basically were the first people to take a stand and make an actual movement. And let's see, after 50 years still, things have changed. They weren't as bad as they were, but there are still racial discriminations in America, and specifically sports. For example, one of the most recent ones was Colin Kaepernick. When he took a knee, he wasn't going against America. He stood up for racial inequality against blacks, specifically against police shootings. And I think, especially with Donald Trump being president, he took this the wrong way, and he was saying he wasn't standing up for America, and if he wouldn't stand for the flag, he was disrespecting soldiers, and it was going the totally opposite direction as what he wanted. And the protest was for black oppression, and it obviously didn't go the way Colin Kaepernick wanted, and now he was punished by the NFL along with most of America, and then now he is not on an NFL team. And another recent one is when LeBron James, let's see, I just want to get this right. LeBron James went against Donald Trump when Steph Curry didn't want to go to the White House. And LeBron James also got numerous attacks for him for standing up. And racial inequality and social justice issue is still a problem today, and it needs to be focused on primarily, specifically on African Americans as they take their stand in sports, because that is where they are going to be most heard throughout. Thanks.